Okay, there she is. There you are. How are you, Princess
Hello,
Tommi? We thought we lost you. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. I'm well. So I mean, I have just heard so many wonderful things about you, and you're a young entrepreneur. You have this great big social media following. How did this all get started? Tell me about your journey.
Well, so I started my YouTube channel in the ninth grade. So I think that was like 2015. Yeah, I think that was like 2015. So before I had my YouTube channel, however, I was a party promoter, a party host. I also did like different charity events. So I was really, really known in my state, Maryland. But to a certain point, I wanted to be bigger than Maryland and DC. I wanted people to know who Tommy Baker was, aka Princess Tommy, all around the world. So I went to YouTube for that platform and I really connected with a lot of people all around the world. I have subscribers in different countries, different cities, different states. So that's just how I got started with everything. I already had like the buzz here in my area, so I just wanted it to expand basically.
Wonderful. And what was your I might have to bring you on with Dr. V, and I think it's really good to do that because now we can, if she's, I don't know if Shevry's talking to her right now, but anyway, so what was your goal? I mean, when you started this, what were you trying to what was your objective?
Well, like I said, I wanted to expand. I wanted people to know who I was. So YouTube, that's something that everyone can see from wherever they are in the world. So I wanted to also, especially for young girls like myself, I wanted to encourage, inspire, and educate them on just different things going in a female's life or high school. So my goal, I would say, was just to, expand and inspire other young people like me.
What did you think that young people like you wanted to hear? What kind of content did you produce?
Well, I do a lot of everything. So I do like vlogs, I did pranks, I did girl talks, well, since back to school is coming up, I'm currently getting in the process of starting my back to school series. So those are certain things that a lot of people gravitate to because a lot of people are going back to school, whether it's middle school, whether it's high school. So everyone needs advice during that time. Whether it's how do I prepare myself for middle school, how do I prepare myself for high school. So that's where I'll come into play and I'll just give advice based off my experience. And one thing about me, I'm not going to really like sugarcoat anything. I'm going to tell you like what it is. Like, okay, high school is fun, but at a certain point, like you really got to be serious about it, or it's not going to go the way you want it. So that's what I feel like a lot of my subscribers like about me because I'm like straightforward, I'm really open, I'm honest, and I just give it to them how it is.
So, talking about school, because I have far off memories of middle school and high school myself. So, and you're right. It can be really fun, but it can be whatever else. And so, do you talk about your own experiences? I mean, where do you get the information from that you share with people? Is it from your friends? I mean, how do you get? Where does the source of the advice come from?
It comes from based off my experience. So, for
Okay.
example, if I go through something in high school and someone asks me that a type of question related to that, I can give them, the answer they need just based off what I experienced. I don't ever really talk about anything unless I know it's true or if I've seen it or especially if I've gone through it. Now, for sure, if I've gone through something, that's where most of my information comes from because I've seen it, I've got the results.
Mm. I mean, one of the things you talk about, and just you got to put the effort forward. You said that about education, and you yourself have a pretty, uh, a great grade point average that you can sort of pat your back
Yeah.
or beat your chest about. I mean, how did you achieve all of this and stay so focused on school?
So I'm going to my second year of college, so I'm a college sophomore. Um, College has really been like I want to say my peak in my grades because I was always a good student, especially in high school. But the grades I have in college, they were never this high in my high school year. I've always had over a 3.0, but in high school, I'm not high school, in college, I made Dean's List. I currently have a 3.7, 3.8 average around that. So I would say like it's really about time management, prioritizing, and you gotta really, 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 really be focused. Before I even started my first year of college, I was so nervous because for one, it was through Zoom. I didn't know how college really worked. I didn't have anyone to go to for advice because nobody I really knew went to college. Like in my family, I'm the first college student. Well, I'm not the first, but kind of like the first. So
Okay.
I was really like I was on my own. So I had to again experience it for myself and then pass the advice to those who may need it. So certain days I will always have schoolwork, of course, and I also had to work on my channel. But that's where I will always do my assignments way ahead of time before they were due. For example, if I had a paper due on like let's say a Sunday, I would start my paper that day that it was given, so it'll already be done ahead of time, so it gives me extra more time to work on my channel or just anything related to my business.
Wonderful. So you have aspirations. I mean, you're going to college. And what are you majoring in?
I'm majoring in biology.
Okay, so what? Wow, that's impressive. And so, what are your career aspirations?
Well, I want after I graduate from college, I do eventually want to go to medical school to become a doctor, more so like in the oncology unit. So an oncologist, for those who don't know what that is, that's a doctor who specializes in cancer treatment and cancer patients, trying to figure out the best options for that patient and just, giving them, the best treatment they can.
Wonderful. But I thought I heard somewhere that there was possibly a desire to become, to pursue acting.
Yes.
Okay. So tell me where that comes from.
So I'm also an actress for those who didn't know. I just started acting probably I want to say 3, 4 months ago. So I'm still a beginner, but I really, really do love it. So I'm giving it my all. So acting came about, my manager, Ave Management. She was my teacher in elementary school. And, we always kept in touch. She follows me on Instagram. And I saw that she was managing actors, and I never knew that. And again, this comes back to me trying to expand and build my name more than where I already am. So I was like, okay, well, I already do YouTube, I already do parties. How about I get into acting? One thing about me, I want to try my hand at everything. Even if I'm not good at it, I'm going to at least give it a try and figure it out before I say, okay, this is not for me. But I gave my hand at acting and it's going pretty well. So I'm excited for that.
Can we see you any place yet?
Um I shoot for a movie in October. I
Ooh, all right.
too much yet, but I just booked my first speaking role. So begin shooting that in October. That's all I can say.
Fantastic. Well, we want it when you can say more. We certainly do want to hear
Yeah.
it so that we can help to expand that as well. But let me ask you. So, folks are getting ready to go back to school. The summer's almost over. We can't decide whether there's going to be in-school learning or remote learning again because of this COVID that seems like it doesn't want to go away. What kind of advice would you give students who really went they had a bad year last year and want to do better this year?
I would say just really take it day by day. We all have our bad days, especially during this unfortunate time right that we're in right now. So it's not going to be easy, but you really, really, really got to make the best out of what you can. So I want to say, like, I understand that COVID affected a lot of people, a lot of businesses, mentally, physically, financially, but I also saw a lot of people take this moment and turn it into something better. A lot of people like my age, for those that don't know, I'm 19 years old. A lot of people younger than me or older than me, I've seen them start businesses, do self care, take time for their families. So they made the best out of what they can. As a student, yes, it was really hard logging into Zoom at 7 o'clock in the morning and trying to remain focused while I'm in my bed or I have my phone right here in my face. But at the end of the day, you got to realize what is the end goal here. This is not going to be our time forever. It is right now, but you got to look beyond that. COVID is not going to be the only thing going to stop you in the future. It's going to eventually go away. It's taking a long time, but
Yes.
you gotta put have your faith and just make it work. This is our new normal, unfortunately, but you gotta make it work.
So for young women, what do you think is the biggest challenge facing them right now? From the folks you hear from, on your social media, what kinds of things or what is one of the things that's bubbled up that you think is the biggest challenge facing young women?
I would say when I do, like, I used to have this segment on my channel called Tommy Teas. So every week I would conduct that and I would have people like send in questions or things they want advice on. And the most things that I got from them was that they're worried about their safety as a young female. They're worried about their self worth, relationships when it involves, their partner. So but my thing is safety that's really like something that bothers me because you can't look out for everyone and you never know, who's watching you. So especially for me, that's why I know I don't go anywhere alone. I make sure I'm aware of my surroundings. And I always tell other females like if nobody is there to protect you, you're gonna have to protect yourself. So every day I walk around with my keys. I have a dagger, I have mace, and I'm just really aware. So you
Watch out.
look after, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, that's wonderful. I think it's great advice. Take care of yourself, be safe, and whatever measures you have to use to protect yourself are really important. I want to ask another, which might be a little controversial question, but it deals with music, and we've been fighting, or maybe terms. There's been this. We don't like the use of I've got something flying around here. We don't like the use of the N word, right? But
Hmm.
I'm wondering, how do young women feel about? I was walking today, and I saw someone that had a bumper sticker that said, I may be, yes, I am a B, but I'm not yours, right? And so I thought, whoa, who would put that on their car? But I've had discussions with young and older women, and just curious about where you stand with the acceptability of the B word, and you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay,
So
so how do you feel about that?
well, for one, I feel like a man should never call a female that word. It's like you said, it's really controversial because some people may feel like, oh, it's not a big deal. But to me, I feel like if a man calls you that, that's disrespectful for one. If you're with your girlfriends or your friends, I mean, some people, like I know a few of my friends may use the word and I don't necessarily get offended. But when it comes to a guy that may call me that, it's like, why are you calling me that? But it's like the same way if a girl is calling a guy the N word, So it kind of like goes hand in hand, and I guess everyone just has their preference. But I know for me that I do not respect any male that will call me out of my name or a family member that's a female that may call me out of my name because I feel like that's a little wild. But
Mhm, mhm.
between your friends, I feel like, to a certain extent, it's how you use the word because it can either be like, okay, I'm gonna call her this because that's my home girl and we cool like that, or it could be like, well, you disrespecting me, if that makes sense.
Okay. I'm not judging. I'm just listening here, kind of getting your opinion on that,
Mhm.
because I'm sure that that comes into the conversation, particularly as it relates to music these days. And people use a lot of language in music that
Yeah,
some of us old folks find offensive, but we're trying to understand how the younger generation feels. Princess Tommy, excuse me, who inspires you? Where do you get your inspiration from?
that's a really good question. I get that question asked a lot, and it's always just like I'm inspired by a bunch of people. My mom, my dad, my grandmother, my family. I just look at everyone around me and see what they're doing and it inspires me to do better. And I don't want to say it like do better than them, but you should always want your grandchild or your child to do better than you. So and they always tell me that. They always say I make them proud and I always do this and that. So I want to continue to do that because I'm really doing it for them. So when I get older, of course, I don't want to for my family to have to really come out of pocket too much or be in certain environments they don't want to be in. So they really inspired me to keep going, especially and my subscribers. I did an interview not too long ago, and someone asked me about my subscribers, and I said like a lot of people don't know, but during my high school year, I was going through a lot within myself, growing up as a young black teenager, like with self-esteem, depression, things like that. And I said that my subscribers, like, they really saved my life, and it may sound like
Wow.
cliche, but that's really what happened, because if I felt like if I didn't have the platform that I did now, I wouldn't be here today conducting this interview with all of them on here. So I want to give a shout out to all my subscribers that are currently watching. I love you guys so much, and thank you all for everything that you do for me, because it really helps a lot, and you guys make me want to continue and just do better.
Oh, I think I'm just amazed because, as you said early on, your subscribers are global. We're not just talking about, friends around the corner or across the street or folks you go to school with. We're talking about a global community, and that's what I find is so cool, that you're kind of, spreading your message and everything, positive energy around the globe. What's the furthest person you've talked to? From the U.S. That that's come from another place.
Mm, so you're saying someone I met here in the U.S. that I've
No, no, somebody on of your followers, of your
well,
followers.
like I said earlier, my followers, they actually go beyond the US. So I've
Hmm.
had contact with someone who was in, I think, the UK. I'm actually really cool with someone. She has a hair business. Her brand is called CJ Hair. I love all of her products, and I'm not really sure where she is exactly located, but I know it's not here. I believe it's somewhere in the UK.
Well, I
But
see Kira Audios. I hope I pronounced her name
yes, you
properly.
guys
She's from
do
the
know.
UK.
Yes,
Giving
there
you
you
a
go.
shout out. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So, where have you had a chance to visit any of these places yet?
Not really, especially like
Okay.
due to COVID. Last year, well, not even last year, this year was really like where I really started to get into my travel mode, because I'm older now, so I don't need mommy or daddy to go with me. I have my boyfriend, we travel together. So as time goes on, I'm eventually, visit more and more places. So I'm excited.
So what's next for Princess Tommy? What's on the top of the list of things to do that you want to check off?
Well, I say this a lot as well. Expect the unexpected, because you never know what I'm going to pull out of my sleeve next, whether it's a new business, whether it's I'm doing something new. You just never know from me. And that's, I have to really keep people on their toes when they come to me, because they like, dang, I don't know what she going to do next. Like, a lot of people didn't think I was going to become an actress. And I just popped out with saying, hey, I'm an actress now. And I got something, I do have something coming up. It's involving like business related, but
Okay.
I can't put that out too much yet, because I like to surprise people with my ideas and stuff.
So I need some advice. I'm new to some of the social media channels. I do Twitter, though. I do, of course, Facebook, and I'm trying to get into TikTok. Do you think it's worth my time to do it? And what do I need to do to become a social media star like you?
I love TikTok, but I do not post on TikTok. I
Okay.
try. I feel like TikTok is one of the hardest things to gain followers on. I have like 15,000 on there. And that's probably like the lowest I have on all of my social media handles.
I don't have any.
Well, you gotta do something that people want to see or something.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, let me figure it out. I don't know. I could dance. I don't tell jokes. You don't want me to sing, but maybe if I
Oh,
sang, that might work, right?
yeah, maybe,
Because
maybe.
singers that don't sing seem to do very well.
Hmm. I agree with that.
All right. Well, I'm going to stay in touch with you. I'm going to be one of your 3,000. How many followers do you have now?
I have 394,000. So on
And
the
that's
road,
on
you-
where?
YouTube.
On YouTube. 3,000. Okay. So I'm going to be that 95th one. So
Okay.
when the show is over, you'll see me there as well. But I just want to thank you so much for spending this time with us. When you do have some announcements, please let us, be one of those places that you come to make a major announcement. When that film comes out, we want to know what's happening. So we're going to follow you. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. My pleasure. And congratulations. And let us know when graduation comes too, because we want to
Yes,
be there. All
y'all will
right.
know. Everyone wanna know.
Okay. All
Thank
righty,
you guys.
Princess Tommi. Thank you.